Here comes Steve Huff and his electric dragster, the final pass of the night, and he is chasing history. Only one guy can be first. You are now first. The first electric dragster racer to reach 200 miles an hour. Unfortunately, we have sad news to report today on Cycle Drag as our good buddy Steve Huff, motorsports great, unfortunately lost his 5-year battle with cancer. Steve will be remembered as a true pioneer, true innovator. I met him at the PRI show and immediately was impressed with his ingenuity and his intelligence. He came from the Nitro Harley world, he came from the custom motorcycle world, and around about 2015, he set out on a goal that so many said was impossible, and that was becoming the first to take an electric dragster over 200 miles an hour. And yeah, oh, by the way, he was competing with legend Big Daddy Don Garlits to be the first to get there. Well, I know so many of you on this channel are familiar with that name, familiar with that video. I'm so humbled that I was a part of this great moment, the moment that Steve called the best time of his life. So I want to take you back to 2020, and we got to relive this magical moment. Steve looking to do something special. The all-time electric dragster run is held by Big Daddy Don Garlits at 189 miles an hour. Steve is coming off a career best of 185 miles an hour, his first full pull at this test session. This will be the last run of the night. It's late. It's past midnight. And it looks like the team's having a problem right now.
Taller tire went up quicker. Really? The stiffer tire. Yeah, we're 6.75.
Now let me tell you what's going on here. Let me jump in for a second. First off, Steve had been telling me for weeks to schedule this, write this on my calendar, because this was the middle of COVID, and unfortunately drag strips were closed. He came all the way from Seattle, Washington. I was in California at the time. So Tucson Dragway was the only one he could find open, and I wasn't going to miss it. So I jumped on my Hayabusa, went 550 miles through the sweltering hot desert, was at the track at 10 a.m. We were there all day. Steve was so confident he was going to break 200 miles an hour, but the problem is all the previous runs were way off. It was like 183, 185, 185. Well, what you saw right there is that he was having a problem as the car was going into some type of fault mode, some type of limp mode. And by the way, the track was officially closed. The track closed at midnight. The owner was super cool, the track manager at the time. He said, hey, I'll give you guys 10 more minutes. So it was about 12:05. And I said to myself, I said, Steve's my buddy. I'm glad I'm here. This is cool. All the experts were here from AEM and all these smart minds. But I said, there is no chance this thing is going to pick up 15 mile an hour after midnight.
Yeah, we're 6.75.
Clear. Go backwards.
Clear.
So the team increased the tire pressure to 6.75. That caused the car to shut off due to an over rev. They've corrected the problem. They reset the system. And Steve Huff now, with his final attempt, is going to try to better his 185 mile an hour career best pass. It sounds powerful. It looks powerful. Some very smart men from AEM Electronics are here. They were able to dial it in with the laptop and increase power by 10% from the last run. We also know during the last run, Steve had to lift at about 1,100 feet due to the car getting out of shape. They're hoping the increase in tire pressure is able to cure that problem. 2:01. There it is. History. 7:52. 2:01. 2:01. 2:01.
Oh my God.
Oh, dream realized.
Wow. Man, congratulations. How about it?
10 freaking years. 201 on the Dragster.
Congratulations.
Man, this is awesome.
Man, we were hoping for anything in the 190s. How fulfilling is this?
This is awesome. 10% more got us 201. It's unbelievable.
Put a little more air in
Just a
those
little
tires.
more power in there. A little bit more air on the tires. A little taller. This is awesome. Just a slight change. 201 from 185 to 201.
Congratulations. Wow.
Exactly the same as the rocket bike. 201.
Truly amazing.
That's Steve going crazy in the car. You'll see him in the pits. Steve is awesome.
Let's give you one more look. .201.
Exactly the same. Wow, even the 8th was slow. I was surprised. He picked it up on the top end.
He stayed in it.
He stayed in it. He gained 40, 45, a little over 46 miles per hour.
Oh my gosh.
That's amazing. Thanks for putting my name.
What is your name, sir?
I appreciate it.
Matt.
Matt. Tucson Dragway
Yes.
just made history. How's
Absolutely.
that feel?
Badass. If I can say that. Why not?
Yeah.
That's badass.
I think he'll be okay.
Great to see. Awesome evening.
Congratulations, guys.
Yeah. Awesome.
7:52, 201 miles an hour. Let's go down and catch up with Steve. That was such a special day, and I was, you don't understand the amount of hard work Steve put into this. He was consumed with it. He was obsessed with it. And also all the great backers that helped throw in funding. This was a very expensive project. They had over $1 million in that vehicle. And really the great payoff would have been if Tesla would have got behind it, if GM would have got behind it. It was just a fantastic night. And this is what makes me somewhat gratified about what I do. And that is, it was an empty track. Nobody knew what we were doing. I hurried up, got back to the hotel, posted the video. When we woke up in the morning, we had 300,000 views on Facebook, 100,000 views on YouTube. Steve's phone was blowing up. The whole drag racing world was sharing it. And to me, that is what makes this digital age so special. And that is something that I know Steve appreciated greatly, that I was able to be there. I appreciated him inviting me and me just being able to be a small part in it to document it. But I really thought it was cool that we were able to show it to the world. Oh my goodness, Steve, you did it! You did it! Congratulations! Wow! Wow! Steve, that was out of nowhere. We all thought if you could get to 190 miles an hour, it would be mission accomplished today. 2:01! You are the first.
What was the ET? What was ET?
7:53.
We're pulling, making power. We'll get that 60 down tomorrow a bit. Until we get the clutch, though, we won't be running deep into the sixes. But I think we can get it. We have 10% more power we get to put in tomorrow. First pass, 180. What? 185.
185.
760, 185. We needed a little more spray at the big end of the track. It was skating all around on that 185 pass. I had to lift. We were GPS had us at 1,000 feet. At 1,100 feet, we were at 188. And then I pedaled it a couple of times, so it was moving towards the wall. And then this pass, they went out, they gave me some fresh spray for the track. And we added some more power to it. This is only the second pass, man. We haven't even started. And the battery's doing amazing, everybody. And then I thought maybe that was a 190, 195 or so. And then I heard Derek over the radio, 201. I barely understand it, but I heard 2. And also I heard radio doc. I said, what'd you say?
Amazing.
From this end, it was noticeably faster.
What'd that feel like on the top end? Was it moving around again?
No, it's fine. I mean, if it doesn't move around a little, you should try a little harder. I mean, you just got to stay in the throttle, and you got to be able to stop these cars before the sand pit. And, you do those two things, and you focus a long ways down the track. You don't do it at nighttime. It's a little more challenging, but, what the hell, man? That's what we're here to race. So I've been doing this for a long time, and, You just got to put your head back against that roll cage and let her rip. Let her eat, man. Let her eat.
Steve, only one guy can be first. You are now first. The first electric dragster racer to reach 200 miles an hour. How fulfilling is this? I know you've worked so hard.
When the track was closing, it was our last pass. Man, it was midnight.
It was
12:21 right now.
As I was going past the shutdown, I gave a thumbs up to that. I didn't even hear the number yet. I hadn't heard it, and I see the security guys, the ambulance guys. I gave them a thumbs up and waved them off because we're closed. We had the track till midnight. We made the hit at midnight. Yes, yes. And thank you, Jack, Cycle Drag, man. Thank you. I mean,
I'm happy to be a part of it. We've been following this for a long time, and I hate to say it, but there is one man in Ocala, Florida. I think you might have just broke his heart, Big Daddy Don Garlits.
Hey, Don Garlits, man. Hey, there's two things I have to do. First, none of it would be possible without Larry Carroll at all. He's had faith in my crazy ideas, and he's stuck with me in these years. And we've always improved, man. And Larry, I got to thank you. Without you, this wouldn't happen. I'd just be some crazy dude with a bunch of dreams and, some good ideas. And they can copy our ideas all they want, but you'll never beat anybody if you copy them. You got to come up with good ideas. Don Garlits, you were the king of great ideas, man. This car's, all my chassis are transfers built from your old Sidewinder. You inspired me when I was a young man, when I was a child, when I was a young man, and as an adult. It was Don Garlits when I first heard of this Quest for 200, and that was at the end of 2016, and I started on the car in 2017, and it's been a hell of a road, man. But Don, thank you for inspiring me and so many others. And it's bittersweet because as competitors we want to win, but you hate beating your hero to the punch. But I tell you, it's because of my team. Derek Barger, the guys at AEM that made this 4-motor thing possible for me. Reinhardt, Chris Brune, Reinhardt Motion Systems. Chris Brune, he's been hung in there with us. We've gone through a few motors. These motors that we have from 5-Power, mind-boggling. But Derek Barger, Derek, right there on the car it says Carroll, Huff, and Barger, and without Derek, I couldn't do it. Derek's taught me so much, and he's the battery guy. Anybody in the industry knows he's the battery guy. Asian, I got a race for you, brother. Don, I'm still down to race, man. I'd love to, and I just want to meet you, shake your hand, and say hi. I look forward to it. And yeah, there's only one first, and I hope that this inspires. Hopefully this inspires another new group of young racers, and just everybody that's helped along the way. There's so many people. I can't. I wasn't ready. I thought we were going to do this tomorrow, buddy.
We did it. We did it. You had the track till midnight. How cool were these guys at Tucson? 12:05, I think it was.
Drove like a dream. Stopped. I'll tell you this. This isn't a 3/4 mile shutdown. What the hell were those guys talking about? This is about a solid third of a mile. But we got to stop. No problem. Everything works great. And I'm going to take this back. Come on, let's go to the pit. I think there's a bottle of champagne waiting for us.
Let's toast it, man. How about it? How about it?
Woo! Yeah! 201. Woo. Yes. This stuff's horrible. Where's the Coors Light?
And what got even sweeter for Steve is he was able to meet his hero, Big Daddy Don Garlits, and they were able to talk about it. And of course, the promoter and me, what we always wanted to set up was that Steve Huff, Big Daddy Don Garlits match race.
Oh yeah, I raced Top
Well,
Fuel
if Top
Harleys.
Fuel started off like it is now, nobody would do it.
That's why I like when I raced Top Fuel Harleys, we didn't have any rules. We really didn't have many rules. But So this electric thing, this challenge, when you made a statement, you said, we'll get there, but unfortunately today, I just don't think that, I don't think it's possible with the current technology, but it'll happen. And I said, well, that's a bunch of crap. I'm going to name the car current technology and go after one of my heroes.
You did it. There it is.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. So that was when I became aware of this quest for 200, and it was quite a process. And Don, this is my partner, Larry Carroll, and Larry's the one that made that all possible for me. We were already in a little bit of a project, and right after I heard that interview, Larry's an oil man from Montana. He's like family to me, and his niece has gone through my driver development program in a little Harley-powered comp car that I built.
Fortunately, we never got there. Don had some problems with his car. These two weren't exactly right around the corner. Don's in Florida. Steve was in Washington, so it was tough to put together. But it was great that Steve got to go out there to a few NHRA national events in Arizona. Also was at the Gator Nationals. And we actually traveled down to Ozzie Moya's Orlando Speed World Dragway, where he broke the record again. It was truly amazing watching Steve perform in this thing. I know it just meant the world to him. Unfortunately, the euphoria of that moment would fade later on that year when Steve called me with the devastating news that he had been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and the prognosis was very grim, and there were a lot of specialists thinking he wouldn't make it a year. And I just remember talking to Steve and listening to his positive attitude and his courage and how he approached his cancer diagnosis just like a racer would approach a problem. He had all these graphs and charts and was willing to try other things and willing to experiment. And Steve again told me, he said, hey, look, ordinary person, they expect to be here for 12 months. And I said, Steve, you're not ordinary, and you've been beating the odds your entire life. And I'm happy to say that Steve took a turn for the better. A lot of optimism. Steve called 2022 the best year of his life. He was out racing his hydroplane, having a ton of fun on the water, and we just hoped and prayed for the best. Well, I know the last 12 months were not great, and in fact, 3-4 months ago, I knew something was terribly wrong when Steve announced that he had sold his motorcycle shop. I knew if Steve was selling his beloved motorcycle shop, he knew something that maybe he didn't want to say. Well, I saw a perfect opportunity when Supercross was in Seattle. I wanted to go visit Steve. I wasn't sure if I was going to go to that race, but I said, I'm going to go to that race. And not only did I go visit Steve, I stayed with Steve. And Steve he was in so much pain, but he was a champ with his attitude. And we stayed up all night talking about the good times. He expressed to me just how tough the battle had been as he started to go into kidney failure as well, how the doctors were trying to manage his pain, and it just was not an easy road at all. I expected to go to Supercross with Steve, but he was in so much pain, he couldn't go. He did give me his truck and insisted, he didn't want me to go rent a car. He insisted, that's the kind of guy he was. He insisted that I would take his truck to downtown Seattle, and I came back and we talked again. I had to go catch my plane.
I'm just really blessed to have brought the quality of people into my life and into the projects that I have been doing that are just top notch. I make sure I'm not the smartest guy in the room, and I'm no dummy. So I'm surrounded by some pretty smart people and some people that have some influence. So it takes a team. So I appreciate a lot of their credit, but it certainly has a lot to do with a lot of other people. AEM, Larry Carroll, Derek Barger, who designed the battery, and that project was a challenge, but we did it, and we never quit until it was done.
Ever take it away from you? Your fighting spirit is contagious. I think of you. I think of that Tim McGraw song, "Live Like You Were Dying." You called me in 2020. You told me what was going on. Most people would have gone home and given up. You found another gear.
I found another
gear. I saw you. We got you to the NHRA national events, and you're competing against Don Garlits, and you're breaking records, and you just absolutely had the time of your life.
I did.
What could you say to anybody out there who is struggling with this? That every single day people get this news, and some of them they just want to give up. What could you say to somebody struggling? What did you say? If you could tell us anything about what you told Donnie Huffman, what words of wisdom you gave him as people look to you as such an inspiration?
Well, you got to. I always hoped that I had it in me, but you never know. until you're faced with these challenges. And what I've told Donnie and others in this position is that you're going to be amazed at what you find that you have inside of you if you just do it. And don't let anything get in your way, period.
Hugged each other after our great interview, and afterwards, Steve made sure to say, I love you, and I told him, I said, man, I love you too. And I, again, hoped for the best. Two things I'll remember that Steve taught me, that Steve would preach, is number one, you never give up, you always fight. Number two, you're not done when you're tired, you're done when the job is finished. And that is so important to remember sometimes. And I know he kept saying that over and over again during that tiring day in the desert, Tucson, Arizona, when the car would only go 185 and we stayed 10 minutes after the track officially closed to make that last beautiful pass. It is Steve! You did it! You did it! Congratulations! Rest in peace, Steve. You accomplished a great deal, my friend. Rest in peace.